Hi, you guys. All right, today we are going to talk a little bit about challenge groups and how to keep your challengers motivated. Because I hear that question all the time. My challengers aren't participating, or how do you get engagement higher, or how do you keep people more accountable? And I wanted to give you guys 5 different kind of tips and tricks that I use when I'm running challenge groups to do my best to keep people engaged, on track, and accountable throughout the entire duration of the challenge group. Because we've all been there, right? It sucks when we have something going on, we think it's gonna be great, and then just challengers start to fall off left and right, and you're left by the last day being like, where is everyone? So I wanted to give you guys some things that I do and hopefully prevent that, or at least can help with that different process. So tip number 1 is asking yourself, are you leading from the front? You guys, people join challenge groups because up until the point of that challenge group, they have failed with something. Whether they're struggling with accountability, or they're struggling with finding what works for them, or they're struggling with nutrition, whatever it is, this challenge group to them is supposed to be a solution. And they have trusted in you. They have looked to you that said, look, I trust you, I believe in you, I want you to take me through these 3 weeks with you and get me back on track. And so you have to be the one that's leading from the front, and not just expecting your challengers to jump when you say jump, which to me oftentimes means making sure that you're the very first one checking in with your workouts, and you're the very first one finishing that assignment that you posted, and you're the one that's sharing breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you're the one sharing podcasts or motivational quotes, or you're going live in the group to talk about experiences that you're having or things that you're learning throughout the group. You have to take action and go above and beyond, because you are the ceiling of that group. Everything that you do, your challengers will follow your lead. So if you are the type of person that maybe you work out at 7 o'clock at night, well, all of those people that maybe should be morning workouters, they don't see anyone else posting, so they're like, ugh, I'm not gonna do it, like no one else is. And then by the time you post at 7 o'clock at night, they've already, disengaged. They've decided, F that, I'm not doing it today. So if you're noticing a lack of engagement with working out and you're an evening person, maybe you have to make that commitment and that switch in your routine, your habits, to get up a little bit earlier so you can be the first one saying, I got my workout done. Where are you? And tag your people, tag them and say, I did it. I want to see you do it. So you can lead from the front and motivate them from the front. The same goes with the meal sharing and the assignment doing. They joined this, again, because they're looking to you to be the subject matter expert. So people aren't going to just go and feel super confident posting their breakfast, lunch, and dinner if they don't see you doing it first. So even though you've probably done a couple challenge groups, or maybe a ton of, maybe you've done lots of challenge groups for a few years. And so the routine and the nutrition, all of that is super secondhand to you. This is all brand new for them. So you have to go above and beyond sharing that content and leading from the front. And the other thing I would add with leading from the front is it doesn't matter if people fall off. If people are falling off, that doesn't mean you get to fall off. Because I will tell you, I've been in situations where I'm leading from the front, I'm posting my workout every single day, I'm doing the assignment every single day, and out of 8 people, it was only me and maybe one other person posting. But by the end of that challenge group, that same person that kept up with me, she told me, I loved this changed my life, and now I want to sign up as a coach. And so it doesn't matter if some people fall off and it doesn't work for them. You have to keep showing up, because you don't know who's watching. You don't know who needs you. And we've all been in that situation where we check in with someone behind the scenes and say, hey, where have you been? I haven't seen you posting. And they're like, I know, I'm sorry, but I keep seeing your stuff and you're motivating me and I'm still getting my workouts, and I swear I'm forgetting to check in. So you have to keep showing up and be the first one showing up and making sure that you're just leading from the front. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is making sure that the expectations of the group were clear before it started. And so this really ties into the fact that we can't just go out and look at people as Success Club members, because if you only focus, when you're talking to that person and you're building that relationship with someone, and you're only focused on, oh my gosh, I need you to buy a challenge pack so I can get 2 Success Club points from you, you're gonna miss the why, and you're probably gonna do a half-assed job at explaining the challenge group and explaining the expectations and how it's gonna work for them and why it's so awesome and why it's so cool, because you're focusing on the wrong things. So by the time that they get into the challenge group, they may not realize there's assignments every day or that there was workout check-ins every day. They might have just got caught up in the sale process that you did, and they don't get what's going on when the group starts. So for me, I really make sure that throughout my relationship building process and throughout like the Q&A, and I'm getting to know them and figure out who they are, I am constantly telling them little bits of pieces about the group. This is what we do throughout the entire time. This is what every day looks like. Here's how you can participate. Here's what you can expect from me. Here's what I expect from you. here's how this is going to work for you, etc., etc. So that by the time they get into the group, they know what's going on. And I even go a step further than that. It's not just accepting that I feel I did a good enough job in the conversation piece. I'm explaining the expectations again on day one of the group. I post a list of saying, here's what I expect from you, here's what you can expect from me, here's how this is going to work. That's on Saturday morning before the group starts. I also go live in my group, or I post a video that basically says, here's how the group works. Every single morning, this is what's going to go up on your screen. Every single day, this is what you can expect, and here's what I encourage you to do throughout the next 3 weeks or 4 weeks, however long the group is. So they know, they're constantly being reminded what those expectations are. And for the first part of the group, for the first couple days, to make sure that people are catching on, when I post that first workout assignment, I post that first daily assignment, I'm going to tag everyone in the group and say, here's what's going to look like when you check in with your workout. Here's what it's going to look like where you check out or do your assignment. Because again, this is repetitive stuff for us, but it's brand new for them. So the more times you can put it in front of them, this is what I expect, this is what I expect, the more receptive they're going to be and the more understanding they're going to have. Which right off the bat, if you hit the ground running with that, that's really going to help with engagement because they're going to know exactly what to do. And that first week, you guys, that first week of engagement and things that you're doing, the expectations, that's going to set the pace of the group. So again, you have to be the first one posting your workout, saying, I'm excited, I got it done. I can't believe day one's over, 20 more days left to go kind of thing. You have to be the first one sharing breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Share your grocery list, share your foods, share your tips, all of that stuff during the first week. So it sets that bar, which leads me right into my third tip, which is engagement. Now, it's not enough to just post the workout and post the assignment and do your own check-in and leave it at that. Because people want feedback. People want to know that what they're doing, somebody else is watching and they're going to compliment or congratulate them on it. We love to be celebrated, right? So when you post an assignment and you have people checking in, at the end of the day or whatever time of day you go in and check in with your challengers, make sure that you're liking all of their stuff and you're commenting on all of their stuff. Every single day, I individually go and respond to every person's check-in because I want them to know that I care. I want them to know that I'm watching. I'm not going to let life get in the way and be like, oh shoot, last week was so busy, I didn't check in with anyone. No, the point is that they're here to make sure that they're on track and you're there to keep them on track kind of thing. So respond back to their stuff and create engagement through your responses. So if I'm reading through the group and I see maybe someone's struggling with something, I can comment back on that and say, hey, check out this podcast. And then maybe I share that podcast with the whole group and say, so-and-so is struggling with this. I think we all go through this. Here's a bonus podcast to watch. Let me know what you guys think. And it brings people in together. I'm tagging people. I'm sharing recipes. I'm going to engage with them on everything that they do. I watch their intro videos and I comment on their intro videos because, again, they want to know that you care. So if you're sitting there and you're asking yourself, man, I feel like no one's posting anymore. Well, make sure that you're doing your job, that when they do post, you acknowledge that they posted and you acknowledge that they are sticking to their commitments. Now, my fourth tip is going to be just be flexible and willing to change it up. So if you have your 21 or your 30 days worth of scripts that you're like, these are the exact assignments I'm going to do, these are the exact workouts I'm going to do, that really leaves you at fault or at the mercy, I guess, of the group if they're going to really pick and choose and vibe with what you have going on that month. So for me, I have my scripts, I have my 21 days or 30 days worth of assignments, but if I notice that maybe this is a group that just isn't as engaged or they aren't participating as much, maybe I'm going to scale back on my assignments. And maybe at that point, for the last 15 days or so, we're only doing workout check-ins, and twice a week we're doing those bonus assignments. I'm definitely there to keep people on track and make sure that they're following through with their goals, but I'm also going to match the pace of the group. I'm not going to try and force people to do stuff that they're not going to do, because just as we know, we can't force anyone in this business to build the business, and we can't force any of our challengers to actually participate. So we kind of have to match their pace as well. So if you're the type that has a lot of above and beyond assignments, maybe you ask them to make videos or go live or, cook a whole meal or something like that, and your group just isn't that engaged with that kind of stuff, it's okay to scale back on it. And it's okay to be flexible and say, you know what, this group just isn't as engaged. I'm just going to do workout check-ins, because if they're getting their workout done and they're drinking their shake, at the end of the day, that is a win, right? That's a win. But also on the flip side, if it's a group that's just freaking awesome and they're checking in every day and liking on each other's stuff and they're all sharing stuff, then heck yeah, match that pace too. Then you get to go above and beyond and share bonus assignments. And maybe you're doing more prize-based assignments and you're going live more often. Whatever it is, you want to match the pace of your group and just be okay with it. Which leads me to my last and final tip, is just understand that every single group is going to be different. Not every group is going to be amazing. Not every group is going to have 15 people that are all thriving and jiving and engaging with the group. Some groups are going to be like that. And then other groups are going to be a lot more kind of dead and quiet. And so it's just okay to know that not every group is going to be perfect. Now, if every single one of your groups is quiet and you hear crickets and you're not getting engagement, then maybe it's time to ask yourself, okay, am I doing a good job of explaining the expectations of the group? Am I leading from the front? Am I being the first person to check in? Like, am I doing my job first? And if you're not, that's where you got to start. It's not on the challengers. It's on you to change up the way that you're doing things. And maybe your assignments just need to be switched up or the verbiage needs to change. Another thing with that, I guess I should add, is if you're using somebody else's scripts, maybe it's not working because it's not in your language. Your challengers are like, this doesn't even sound like you. So be comfortable and be brave enough to really go out there and write your own assignments. You can use the ideas from other coaches, but create it in your own way, in your own tone. So it makes sense for you and the people that you're talking to. And just have fun with it, you guys. What I always say is, again, some groups are going to be awesome, but I've been there too. I've had groups where I'm literally the only person participating and it is pulling teeth to get to the last day. But I know that at the end of the day, if I helped at least one person throughout that challenge group, even if that one person happened to be me, that's a win. And so that's why it's cool that you get a chance to do these challenge groups every single month, because you're always learning. You're always able to change things up. You can change your scripts. You can change your leading techniques. You can change your expectations, things like that. There's always ways to mix it up. But if something's not working, first ask yourself what you can do differently. Again, if that means getting up earlier to post your workout first thing in the morning, if that means scheduling in a little bit of a power 15 minutes so that you can do the assignment first thing in the morning, then that's what you got to do. You have to make those sacrifices if you want to up the excitement in your group. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and we will chat later. Bye.